museum back to life.
You know, people sit out on the front porch hoping people will come by.
Go forth and do good. It's insane. I have the most understanding wife in the world.
I treat everybody the same thing.
Oh, that's the other thing I love about Marietta. It's like a melting pot.
You are listening to Marietta Stories. Each week, veteran podcaster Bill Nowicki brings you the heartwarming, interesting, and fun stories from the people that make the community of Marietta, Georgia, a place to call home. Here's your host, Bill Nowicki.
Here we are in Ignite HQ, brand new studio. They just christened the place. It's on Waddell Street. It's a place for entrepreneurs to come when they don't have their own office. And it's a great place. And they're letting us use it today to do a podcast interview for Marietta Stories Podcast. And I have Brandon Stiles here, longtime friend. I want to get to know him a little bit more than I currently know. So welcome, Brandon Stiles, Marietta Stories Podcast.
Thanks for having me, Bill. It's good to be here. Good to finally be doing this. This has been a long time in the making.
I think you contacted me.
It was June 4th, 2017, and 10 a.m. I'm just kidding. No. Yeah, I reached out about 9 months ago.
Because I've finally given birth to the podcast episode 9 months later.
9 months. We've been planning, scripting, and I think we finally got something really good.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about what we're going to talk about that much. But yeah, they have a brand new studio. It's got soundproofing. It's got great equipment. And they really wanted us to come down and try it out. So I'm really excited about being here at Ignite HQ.
This is seriously a cool place. Like you're looking at, they've got some of the foam on the walls to absorb the sound. They got really nice the SM7 Shure mics.
Right.
So if you're recording a podcast, this is the place to come do it.
Right. And if it sounds better than what I currently put out, it's because of the studio.
Yeah. No, this place is great.
All right, Brandon, let's start with your life. You grew up in Marietta, GA.
I am a lifelong Marietta guy. So, yeah, I went to Hickory Hills for elementary school, Marietta Middle School for middle school.
What was your favorite memory of Hickory Hills?
These are my most traumatic, all right?
Okay.
So
well, that's good. Yeah, let's make it.
Yeah, so one time we were at recess, and we were playing tag, as you do. Mm-hmm. And I was running away, and this girl was chasing me, and she was much faster than I at the time, although I grew up to be very speedy. But at the time, she was faster, and as I was running, I was flailing my arms, and my finger went back and hit this girl in the mouth, and it was my middle finger. And so when I brought it back in, I lifted it up, and I was in first grade at the time, and it was my middle finger, and I looked at it, I was nursing it, and the whole class thought I was flicking them off. And
oh, really?
they went and told on me, and I had to go sit against the wall.
No way.
Yeah, wrongfully accused.
That's crazy, because I didn't know what a middle finger was in first grade.
I didn't either. Otherwise, I'd have been more careful. You know, apparently everyone else did. I was way behind on the times.
I thought that was going to end with you knocking her tooth out. But so you went to Hickory Hills, then where?
Marietta Middle School, and this was just when they had moved. So I went to 3 different buildings for middle school. One was at the 6th grade annex. 7th grade was at the old middle school, and then 8th grade was what's now the old high school.
Right.
So I went all over the place. It was like Christopher Columbus at middle school.
That's a traumatic period of your life too. Middle school is tough.
Here, I liked middle school. I don't know why. A lot of people are like, yeah, I guess I was awkward and I had, awkward moments, but I enjoyed the schooling process. Not like the learning and the education part, I guess, but I liked school as a whole. I was accepted. People celebrated me. For he's a jolly good fellow, and would hoist me above their heads. So,
yeah, I bet. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you do have a way with adults, older people, I should say.
That's what I've been told.
Yourself.
Yeah. So
wow.
I always related well to that. I guess. I don't know why.
Yeah. So you went to Marietta High School?
Marietta High School, class of 07. Yeah.
And you played football, do I remember?
I played football, yeah. I was a linebacker, one of the most undersized linebackers possible. I had lunch with Paul Hall, who's he was my linebacker coach at the time. Now he's the athletic director over there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I didn't play a lot. When me and Coach Hall were at lunch a few weeks ago, I said, Coach Hall, it's been 10 years, you shoot me straight. Was it, did I not work hard enough? Was it personal? Why? And he goes, you want to know the truth? I was like, yeah. He's like, you should have been about 4 inches taller and 50 pounds heavier. Then you would have started. It was just a size thing. All these years, I thought it was something. Maybe I didn't study tape right. It was just a size thing.
When did you get started in music?
I've always done music at some point in my life. So grew up at First Baptist, going there, and did the whole praise band thing, man. Like I was in the praise band, and I was like, I'm gonna play Light the Fire, and I learned a little guitar part. So I always wanted to do music. The guys that ran the quote praise band at First Baptist, I like loved those guys. They were in a band called Micah. Actually, Alan Chrissy, who's Melanie Chrissy's husband, was in that band. He was one of the teachers.
Really?
Yeah. And so that's where I started, just playing, I guess, like, you know, the old school church music, man. I had a guitar that was all stickered up. I thought it was really cool. So
Do you have any pictures?
I'm sure I've got pictures. My mom was weird about pictures. My mom didn't do pictures. I have a few pictures
Amish?
back then.
Is she Amish?
No, she just didn't like
okay.
maybe she did. I don't know why. Maybe she's
That's
not proud of us.
interesting.
Pictures were a lot harder back then, though. You know, you had to get them developed. You had to carry the Kodak around and all that stuff.
That's true.
So
That's
she's
true.
never a big picture lady. My dad, on the other hand, will seriously just pose. Like, we'll take a family picture, and he's like, all right, let's get one of me and the boys. And like, let's get one of me and Jolyn. And then he'd be like, all right, well, let's get one of just me. Serious as day. Like, he would just take a picture by himself. He would pose by himself.
That's good.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about your parents. What do your parents do?
Mom is what you call OM, I suppose. Lived like lifelong Marietan. Lived in the same house her whole life, minus some like moves here and there, but pretty much Marietta. And she works at a place called Southeastern Computer Associates, SCA, over in Kennesaw. And then Dad owns a construction company, for lack of a better word, up in Cartersville. So he's always done that. Started his own business, built it up. Yeah, pretty impressive stuff.
Did that give you the bug to be an entrepreneur?
I don't think it was a bug as much as it was the work ethic. Like I definitely got my work ethic from him. Like he'd be there all day, all night, because you have to be, you know, especially when he's building the company. You know, it took him like 18 years to get to where it was self-sustaining. And I didn't know at the time because I was a kid, but they were like, yeah, there were times where it's like, you know, we didn't know if we were going to have enough money or things were tight. But it never looked like it to me because, you know, I was 4 or 5 years old.
When you were in the praise band stage, were you kind of stable, your family stable income-wise?
We always like had everything we needed and more.
Right.
You know, we go to Disney World on vacation every year. So we definitely we're totally fine. Like I never wanted for anything at all.
You had your guitar.
Yeah, I had my guitar. What more could I want,
More
man?
stickers.
I had a Squire Strat, man. It was more even before I was born that it was a little weird. So he was an iron worker before that. Welders make a lot of money. And so he was able to save up a lot and use that as the cash cow.
Seed money.
Yeah.
All right.
Stuff.
Where'd you go to college?
Georgia.
Georgia.
Went to Georgia,
You
yeah.
haven't really talked about that part of your life. What did you go for? Praise band?
I majored in praise bands. No, I didn't grow up a Georgia fan. I grew up a tech fan, but then I went to Georgia. I majored in speech communication because it was what I thought was the easiest major. Didn't care anything about learning. I loved the social life. I loved the experience of college. And my best friends are still the guys that I lived with and met in college. And loved my time there. Interned at a studio, like a recording studio there for 2 years. And that kind of instilled music more in me and kind of really narrowed my focus. Really, I feel like if I look at my life story, as the years go on, it's interesting. You get a narrower and narrower focus of what you want to be doing with each experience you have.
So, what did you meet your wife? Because I know you guys have been married, a couple of years now?
About 18 months.
18 months.
October of 2016. This was in my touring days, my vagabond days, and my buddy sent me a picture of these two girls. And one was Rebecca, and one was this other girl that he said he was dating at the time, or was going to take out on a date. And I said, that's great, man, but who's the other girl? She's really fine. Can you hook me up? He was like, yeah. So a few months later, we finally met, and she hated me. Like, couldn't stand me at all.
What do you think it was? Because I don't get, like, where somebody would just see you and hate you?
I was pretty different back in like when so I'm 29 now.
This is in your Nashville, so you moved up to Nashville?
No, I was still in Atlanta at the time.
Oh, really?
So this is when I was probably 23, 24.
That's
and
a tough age for a guy, man.
I was out on my own.
No
I was
one listens to you.
Yeah, man. You know, people
Get beat down.
people were putting me in headlocks and giving me nuggies all the time.
Right.
You know? So I was a little bit. I thought I was pretty hot stuff at the time because I was in like a country band and I was touring around, and so I thought I was the man. And I think that attitude came across to her. But I just pursued her for a year, wore her down, you know, and eventually she accepted my forcible date proposition.
And removed the restraining order. And
Restraining order I had a really good lawyer in town
Yanked.
that took care of that. And in court, we locked eyes, and that was it.
That's great. So you guys been married for a little while, and you're up in Nashville. You're trying to sell songs. You did all this kind of stuff. So you've really tried a number of things, and now you're saying you're narrowing. I can't say.
Yeah, right. It's a weird
whatever that
narrowing,
word is.
Narrowing
down into what you really like. Music you must really still like, right?
Yeah, sure. I do. So moved to Nashville to do songwriting, and put out 2 records. You can buy them on iTunes, $9.99 right now. I'm just kidding. They're still available. But moved to Nashville to do some songwriting. I was there for 2 years. And while I was there, I started an entertainment company doing weddings and corporate events for bands and DJs to make money. Because you don't make a lot as a songwriter, like when you first start.
Right.
I started making like okay money with the wedding company. It's called Uptown Down Entertainment. But I didn't get as much as I wanted. So I was like, I am going to figure out marketing and digital marketing and how I can get more clients, what I need to do, what people need to hear. And so in the process of teaching myself digital marketing, I realized that I loved that even more than music and even more than performing and all that stuff. So I kind of pivoted into digital marketing, funnel marketing, things like that.
There's probably a lot of people are going to hear this that don't have a clue about marketing online. So tell folks about the whole concept of why you need a funnel, how content marketing works, so they have a clue. And maybe somebody out there has an old school business they would be interested in how to create a funnel.
Yeah. Okay. So in all this, so let me give you the broad view of how I look at it. So you've got on one side the business, and on the other side is the customer. Both of them have needs. So the business wants to make money. Hopefully they want to help people.
Serve, yeah.
Yeah, and serve. They want to grow. They want to expand. And then on the other side, you've got the customer. And the customer has needs as well, depending on what the business is. So maybe they need shoes, or maybe they need a car rental, or maybe they need a band or a DJ for their wedding. And so marketing to me is learning and figuring out how to connect those needs and wants in order to create some exchange of value. And it usually results in service in exchange for money. But it really could be anything. It could be, you talked about content marketing. It could be a piece of content by the business in exchange for the customer's time and reading that. But the whole time you're building a relationship, you're building trust, because who do you buy from? You buy from your friends. And so the more that your customers and prospects trust you, the more they like you and they're friends with you, the more they're going to work with you.
And they rely on you for advice. And
absolutely.
Yeah. The amount of time we've known one another, the 9 months, I realized how focused you are. I see you just cranking through, and you're on this 100-day challenge where you're creating a new video every day or putting out a new video every day. I'm sure you batch load them. How is that helping you to develop your skills so you can better be a marketer for folks?
The 100-day challenge in this case? Mm-hmm. So that one's pretty cool because it does a few things. It accomplishes one, content creation. So you're putting out content. So I've found myself like on calls with potential clients, they'll run into a problem of like, well, how do I structure a Facebook ad? And then I've actually got a video for it. So I'll just say, hey, watch this video. So there's that. That's one aspect. 2 is just kind of honing your craft, honing your pitch. Because for these videos, you have to do research and then you have to film it. And so you get better on camera, you get better talking, you get your quote pitch down. So that's the second one. And then 3rd is just kind of establishing a body of work. you know, because someone's like, well, what have you done? And it's like, well, I trust me, I've worked with companies. Because marketers kind of get a used car salesman vibe, and everyone thinks they're just, hey, he's just trying to take my money. So by having a body of work, be it videos, podcasts, blog posts, and then, of course, case studies and stuff like that, it allows them to give you a little bit more trust than maybe they normally would.
I don't know if you talked about the funnel part of, you talked about content, but talk about why someone would want to create a funnel.
So in this case, a funnel is being referred to as a sales funnel. And for the people that haven't heard of that, it works like this. So there's a lot of avenues of digital marketing, but the one I love doing that I think is the most fun is the sales funnel. Think of it as an upside down triangle. So it's a funnel, right? It's funnel shape. Potential prospects are filtered into the very top of the funnel through free piece of content, video, something that helps them as it's related to your business. So let's say if you are a wedding DJ, all right, let's go with that. So the top of the funnel, how customers get into it, you might offer a free video of, hey, here's how to set up your wedding ceremony, or here's a free guide to planning out your wedding for the day. It's a really low barrier, low risk thing that the client just gives you their email and you send them an asset, something to help them. So that's stage one of that funnel, the very top. Now, as they filter down, you kind of ask a little bit more of them. So instead of giving them something for free, maybe you say, hey, we'd love to send you this course, give us your email, and maybe we could hop on a phone call with you, a consultation. Okay. Most people start off with consultations, but that's kind of a high ask. You know, it's like jumping into bed with someone before you take them to Pizza Hut. But people drop off. So if you have 100 people at the top, maybe only 50 get to the middle part where you have to do the consultation. Then you do the consultation, and maybe people are like, I just didn't vibe with it. So they drop off. So maybe you've lost another 40. But then at the bottom of the funnel, this is just a really simplified version. The bottom of the funnel is when you ask for the sale. So, but what have you done? You've built up trust. You have given people help in advance. I'm a big proponent of helping people before you ask them to buy something. And those 10 clients at the bottom are going to be your high value clients that want to spend more money with you, that want to help you and want to see you grow and do good things because you helped them so much on the way down.
And typically, if you're giving them something, they're going to get a lot more out than the money they spent on whatever course or whatever you're trying to sell them.
If you can give someone $50,000 in value, then they're perfectly fine to give you $10,000, let's say, because it's a 5-to-1 return. You know, it's like playing the stock market.
Right.
So yeah, I think giving people way more than they pay you is how you grow a business.
Yeah, and some of the other things I learned from you is you can easily change your approach versus a brick and mortar that's an Italian restaurant, and you kind of know what you're going to get in an Italian restaurant. In an online business, you could try putting somebody in a funnel and then find out that didn't work for whatever reason, and then change the funnel, right? You
can definitely test it. It's a lot easier to test because then you can start relying on analytics. You can start all that kind of stuff. But you bring up an interesting point. Outside the box marketing. So let's say an Italian restaurant, you do know what you're going to get. You're going to get Italian food. You're going to get, everyone knows what happens at a restaurant, but how can you shake that up? That will bring in foot traffic or free traffic. And then how can you tell people about that, which might become into your paid traffic or your magazine ads or something?
If I was looking to buy or sell a house, I would always think about who was my real estate agent and what were their results. Well, Johnny Walker and Kerry Cox hire the best real estate agents out there. Here's Elizabeth Denny to talk about one of her recent clients.
A teacher and a veteran who were buying their first house. And they've actually made fun of me because they said that I talked them out of absolutely everything that they wanted to buy and insisted that they wait for the right thing. But I feel like when you work as hard as they do and you have jobs that are as important as they have, our job is to be a good steward of their money and their future. So please, if you're buying or selling a home, check out Johnny Walker Realty at 262 Church Street, just down from the Marietta Square. Give them a call at 678-626-0403 or check them out online, JohnnyWalkerRealty.com.
I saw this one thing that a restaurant did where in terms of marketing, most people just say, get a free appetizer, come on in.
Right.
And it's like you get advertising blindness to that because everyone gives a free appetizer. So what else can you do?
Mozzarella sticks.
Yeah, free mozzarella sticks. I would take that though. So
I could use one of those right about now.
Yeah, I love mozzarella sticks. Buffalo's over on. I digress. Well, what if instead of just offering a free mozzarella stick, all right, so that saves you what?
Down to one stick?
Yes,
Oh,
a single free stick for $7. Okay, what if I read about this restaurant once that set up a date night for couples? So, like say Marietta, there's lots of families with small kids. So, what if you set up a date night and you're like, you come in, we're gonna have a bottle of wine for you. We're going to have like a babysitting section set up, or set up some sort of childcare thing. You're going to get like a 3-course meal. We're going to have a live in-store fiddle player. You're creating a lot of value. And so what if you were like, dinner for 2 right there is going to be $50 and we're only selling 100 tickets. Well, that's $5,000 in one night versus giving away a bunch of free mozzarella sticks. Also, you're creating more value for the customer.
Right, and you're probably picking a night like Tuesday night or Wednesday.
Exactly. One that's usually pretty slow.
Young parents probably... That would be great for them.
Yeah, it's a date night. You get away from the kids. It's paid for. You don't have to get a babysitter and pay for that. You could even build in a tip, like, hey, and don't worry about the tip, but just build it in.
Right.
Then all of a sudden you're not getting money taken out of 2 pockets.
Yeah, but the whole thing is you don't have to do all that much upfront planning. You're taking the burden off the parents.
Creating value up front.
Great. So what else would you like to share? Because what's the name of your company now?
So it's actually just me. So it's Brandon Stiles.
Me.com?
Me.com, yeah. So you can find me at brandonstiles.com. I work with just a few businesses at a time. You can really spend time and find out what they want and what their problems are and symptoms are, and then prescribe them something personally versus just, we're just going to run some Facebook stuff for you.
Right. So what kinds of things could you do for folks?
Kind of how it works when you go to a doctor's office. You don't go in and say, hey, here's my problem. I think I need some penicillin. Write me a prescription. You go in and you're like, gee, doc, like my neck kind of hurts.
Right.
And like I've been having headaches, and my right foot doesn't work or whatever. And I've been throwing up all the time, just everywhere, all over the place. And
that's gross, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to go to darkness like that.
No. We need to go dark here, Bill. This is important. But, so the doctor listens to him. And then he's like, you know what? It sounds like it's probably not even your neck. It sounds like you've got some sort of problem with your shoulder. And then all of a sudden he knocks the shoulder back in place and everything's healed. So it might not even be the problem that some businesses think they have. You might need to just tweak something over here or over here. And then you fix the bottleneck they thought they had.
Well, even like somebody might say, I need a bunch more new business. Mm-hmm. And then you said, if you had 10 more clients, could you deal with them?
Could you even handle that? Absolutely.
And they say no.
Yeah. So in that case, you don't need more business. You need systems in place. So how can we create those systems and then focus on getting you new business?
So it sounds like you do an analysis. You can look at their online presence, website, what they've done for advertising, create campaigns for them, create funnels, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, my favorite system is getting in, having a couple hour strategy session, whiteboarding, just learning what their problems are, and hearing what's going wrong. Then brainstorming together to come up with something that works. Sometimes businesses are like, well, we've always done it like this.
Right.
And I was like, well, if you've always done it like this and it's working, then why are we here? Why'd you reach out to me?
Right.
But
at that point, they get up and walk out.
Yeah, screw you, buddy. Screw you. They throw a drink in my face. I'm like, what the heck? I chase after them in the parking lot. Wait. But so it's like with web design, there's a balance between how to stay true to the business and what they want and their goals, because everyone's goals are going to be different. Not everyone wants to make money. Some might just want stability or predictability. How can you balance that with finding a path that works for them that might not have been working before?
There's a lot of people that are holding on to the old world of the way they got business was X and it's worked for a lot of years. The other day, I was going through my Facebook feed and I saw a 10% off for the Marietta Food Tours dinner tour on Wednesday night. Like, shoot, I've never even thought about doing that on a Wednesday night, even though I did a podcast episode on them and they were great. Never thought about it because I'm just, cranking through my day all day long. I don't think about that, but that interruption was enough to make a date night for my wife and I. It sounds like the old school methods might not work in the new way. We're just being inundated with a bunch of information.
I think you can combine the two. Like, I think it's good to bring in new stuff. But like, one thing is it's easy to get comfortable. Like, I noticed that in Nashville, like, you would come in every day and write the same song, but it's because it's what people knew and it's what they had on the radio. Right. And so when you start to push the boundaries, people don't want to learn the new stuff. They learned their stuff when they were 30, and now that you're 50 or 60, it's like, I don't want to go back into the learning mode, because you're good at what you do. Mm-hmm. That's when it's helpful to bring in an outside source and let them kind of guide you. But let me say something about what you just touched on. So can I give some insight into...
Absolutely.
Okay. So think of your customers like this. Think of your customers like this in your business. At any one time, only about 5% of people are going to buy that day. If you're paying thousands of dollars a month to advertise to that 5%, you're going to be wasting a lot of money. You're going to be missing out on a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I like to think of audiences in 3 categories: the see, the think, and the do category. So C would be anyone that would even be remotely interested in your business. So let's say if you are a shoe company, anyone that wears shoes, all right? It's pretty much everyone. So I would craft ads to people who are interested in shoes. And that's just stuff like, that's just easy stuff like, hey, we've got a shoe company. Oh, thank you, my friend.
I think that's mine.
Oh, Bill just handed me a bottle of water.
Okay.
Then there's the second stage, which is think. And that's people who wear shoes who think they might be needing new shoes. Well, those people would need a different ad than people who just aren't even thinking about it. Mm-hmm. Then there's the third stage, people that wear shoes, that think they need new shoes, that are looking for new shoes. That would require a different ad than those other 2 segments of the audience. So how can you craft, you have to put a little bit more work into it, but your conversion rate goes up a lot because you're catering to where each person is on their individual journey for finding shoes in this case.
Yeah.
So
I never thought of that.
Yeah, a little insight.
All right. So let's look to wrap things up. What are you looking for? You're going to just keep building your business with clients right now. Is there any thing else you wanted to share with folks? You still doing the uptown down thing?
Yeah, I'm still playing. It's like not as much as I used to, but I still enjoy getting out and playing on the weekends.
Favorite wedding song you like to?
You know what? Boys of Summer by Don Henley.
Oh, really?
I love playing that one. That's like, that song never gets old. That's a great song.
It is a great song.
And people at wedding, I didn't think people would respond to it well, but people really get into that one at weddings. One I hate doing, Wagon Wheel.
Really?
Can't stand it. I get it all the time. That's the new like Freebird for like bands.
I thought you were gonna say old time rock and roll.
No, I love doing that one. Bob
Really?
Seger, man. Oh yeah. And Night Moves. Like yeah, I could do Bob Seger all night. But Wagon Wheel.
Yeah.
I could go. I would almost give people a like 10% discount to not have to play that song.
There you go.
You
But
know?
as we know from the appetizer example, that probably won't work.
You got to give them what they. Yeah, right. That's one that I would find a way to make that one work.
That's true.
But yeah, give the people what they want in that case.
So you're still doing that. I see a lot at Starbucks cranking out new copy. You're doing a 100-day challenge thing. You're putting out new content, building up your YouTube page. What's your YouTube thing? Brandon Stiles?
Yeah, I don't know the exact address, but I think if you just type in Brandon Stiles on YouTube, you'll see my smiling face there. The best way to kind of find out about what I do and get in touch, if this sounds like something you even just want to talk about, I love talking about this stuff. So I could sit with you for an hour and just talk at you about all this stuff. BrandonStiles.com, BrandonStiles.com. And there's a lot of like free books and free stuff on there to kind of get your brain going and even just help you. If you don't want to, talk to me, meet with me, maybe the book will help out. So
yeah, you're one of the sharpest, nicest guys. Brandon came over to my house a few months ago. He's supposed to have me over at his house, but he hasn't. But and my in-laws who live with me, keep talking about Brandon. It's like, hey, he's one of the nicest guys. Because, you listen to him. It wasn't that you were talking and trying to show how cool you are, even though you're a cool guy. You were just really engaging with them. And they were talking about where they grew up, and you asked a bunch of questions. And that's really cool, because especially when you're trying to do a relationship-based business, you want to start doing that kind of stuff.
Empathy took me a while because I was I was focused on what can I get, how can I get ahead, and so it took me a lot of like reading and kind of studying that and being intentional to build that. I don't know if I told you this, but that night I gave your father-in-law a hug, and when I did, I grabbed his wallet out of the back of his pocket. So
that's why his Social Security fund is messed up. I'm just kidding.
Me and Becca ate free for 3 weeks after that.
Yeah, I gotta wait.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he's just kidding. All right, man. Should we bring Romana Sultana in here?
Yes.
All right, we got Romana Sultana here from Ignite HQ. She's like chief person in charge of marketing.
Something like that, yeah.
What's your title?
I'm just a marketing director.
What do you mean, director? That's important.
That's an important title. How did you get
first podcast?
Yes. Well, first podcast that I'm actually
a part of.
Yeah.
Great.
It's weird to hear your own voice.
It is kind of weird.
It takes a while to get used to.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. It really does.
Everybody thinks they sound, like a certain way, but then when you hear yourself, you're like, oh, I sound like that.
What's different about it?
I don't know.
Not as much bass. That's what mine is. I don't hear as much bass in my when I hear it on speaker. It's like, how's it going? So it's like in my head, it's all manly sounding and nice, but
yeah, that's probably true. So tell us a little bit more. You just christened the recording studio.
Yes. We're super excited. We actually, they opened their doors. Ignite HQ opened their doors almost a year ago, and we've just kept adding different services and resources. Right. The cool part is that, this was actually something that people were looking for, that they needed, like an affordable space just to, try out a podcast or try out some video streaming services.
Great. And what do you charge if somebody doesn't belong here?
No, everyone belongs here. We welcome all.
If you're ugly, or maybe you come from a bad family,
they have this whole process. It's pretty sad. They take before and after pictures. You
have to stand in a police line.
Background check.
Yeah, it's embarrassing stuff.
Yeah. But anyway, if you're not a member, how can you use this facility?
Well,
Besides
we have both.
Break in and
hey, we
cool.
have
not cool.
I don't know if I can put a plug, but we do have loud security systems here.
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah,
cool.
John hooked us up really well. But we actually we have availability for both members and non-members. So if you're not an Ignite HQ member, which we would love for you to be, but if you're not, we do rent out the space for, right now it's $50 for a 90-minute session.
Wow.
And you can, it's really affordable. And you can actually book up to 3 sessions a day. And if you do go over your time limit, there is some charges, but we started 90 minutes. So that should give people enough time to come in, set up, get their voices tested, and do their thing, because
Oh, and that's for the podcasting and recording aspect. Okay, cool.
Same with, just to rent out the space in general. So if somebody wants to come and do like a streaming, we had somebody do a webinar, like a Facebook Live. So that's going to be about, maybe 30, 40 minutes, but he's just going to, I guess, rent it out for the whole time.
90-minute webinar is pretty intense. Well,
you've seen it done.
Now, Brandon, what would you say the most important thing about video is?
Like video marketing?
No. Technical, because I heard it was audio, and I believe that. If you think about movies, like the little sounds of that they put in and everything, and the sounds of the voice, it is one of the most important parts of a video. So it's great to have a good setup.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I set you up, Brandon.
No. Well, I
thought it was right over the plate. And it's like,
what do you mean, Bill? No, I think
Lord.
I think people are a lot more forgiving of video than audio quality, for sure.
Right.
So, people are used to seeing video on their iPhones, right. And so it's like not everything has to be taught. And they're used to seeing webinars from like an iMovie camera,
right.
But if your sound is bad, it's like, oh, this guy looks like he's gonna take my money or something like that.
Right.
So yeah, I think sound's very important.
Yeah. So a little bit more about Ignite HQ. If you wanted to get one of the spaces you have, they can contact you or Catherine, and how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so it's just you email us, info@ignitehq.com, and I don't know our phone number. That kind of sucks, right?
All right. Everybody's
Hey, I'm fairly new here.
Yeah. You can Google it though.
Yes, you can Google it.
Nice.
And our website
Nice.
is ignitehq.com. So please feel free to visit the website. We've got a lot of cool resources, and you can, even if you're interested in just coming out, checking out the space, give us a call, shoot us an email for a tour, maybe come and hang out with us for a day, come and work in the space and see what you think. It's we focus in on small businesses, entrepreneurs, and startups, wanting to really get their foot on the ground or wanting to scale their business. We've got all kinds of like great mentors and other resources. We've got access to funding opportunities. So
and you're connected to Kennesaw State.
Yeah. So that's a really great place for a lot of the companies that are here right now. Is we kind of help them, start dialogues with different parts of the university, different colleges, to have like research test beds, research students, interns. Right now, we actually have 2 interns here from the university, and they've been working with a lot of our startups here as well.
Great. Well, it's pretty exciting, isn't it,
Cool.
Brandon?
And every Wednesday, the owl mascot comes in. He goes around the
Really?
offices, 20-minute massages, free. Yeah.
But it's pretty noisy, I heard.
Gratuities accepted, too. Expected.
Yeah, and it's pretty packed here, too. It's got a whole different vibe than when it first opened, because I was here initially.
Yeah, and it just really depends on the day. Some days we are so full that every seat is booked, like every seat somebody's there, and some days it's like really quiet, and better days to if you want to have like meetings, and it just depends on the day. But so far we're getting fairly full, which is exciting. That means people need us.
It's a great alternative to putting a bunch of money into a brick and mortar place when you're starting out and trying to get funding and all that, to have a professional meeting here versus Starbucks.
Cheapest rent in town, though. $2.95 a day. I'm just kidding. No, but it's cool. I mean, you come in here, there's it's like glassed out, and it's like a really like a minimalist vibe, and it felt like you kind of walking into like an Apple store in a way. Like it looks like a Silicon Valley startup area.
Right.
So I thought it was cool.
It was comfortable in here with the chairs and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I felt comfortable. Feels like a little room off of a house or something. You can hang out, and I really enjoyed this time with you and the time here at Ignite HQ.
Yeah, well, we'd love to have you back.
I would love to come back. Maybe Brandon and I can start another show.
Brandon Bill Show. B&B.
B&B.
BBP.
All right. Well, thank you so much again.
Yeah, no problem.
All right.